Suspense and mystery type of horror film you dare to watch. Godam consists of 8 short stories. The seemingly disparate stories are subtly related to each other. The review uploaded today contains 5 stories. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel and I will update the rest of the stories. The film has a horror warning countdown. Please watch with caution. Episode 1. In class, Ricky suddenly wants to go to the bathroom, and at this time there are 3 positions in the classroom are placed chrysanthemums. In other words, 3 students in the class have recently died. Look closely at the photo at the back. On the back wall of the classroom are pictures of the top 2 students. The first one is Chi. The second place is Ricky, the girl who went to the toilet in front. The first place in the photo slowly turned his eyes to Ricky, who just passed by, and put a smile on his lips. The corridor was empty, and not only did the lights flash when they passed by, and also the sound of something falling behind you. Ricky turned around to check behind her, and there was nothing unusual. However, she did not notice an upside-down figure at the end of the corridor was watching her. But in the blink of an eye, the figure disappeared again. To the toilet, only the innermost compartment can be opened. And just as she sat down, there was a strange noise outside. This also scared her to drop the lighter on the floor. However, when she leaned down to pick it up, she found that not only was there no one in the next cubicle, but the doors were opened one by one, as if something was checking one by one. Then Ricky noticed that the hair in the toilet next door had suddenly retracted, and it seemed like someone was knocking on her door. Ricky did not dare to make a sound until she felt that the other party left. She dared to quietly lean down to check from below. A blood-stained head suddenly appeared upside down. The other party smiled and said, "I finally found you," and then dragged Ricky out. Then when the picture came again, to the toilet here is already full of blood, and Ricky has been stuck into the toilet upside down. In the classroom, Ricky smiled in the photo. This is the end of the first short story, although this story does not explain the cause. But I guess Ricky, who was the second best student, may have indirectly caused the death of the first one by means of a trick, referring to the hair in the toilet and the death of the second place winner in the end. I suspect that the second place may have pushed the first place's head into the toilet during the bullying process. The first one, who was humiliated, chose to jump to his death and his head hit the ground first. And then there was this drama. Episode 2. Destination. At 2:20 a.m., the news of a shaman's murder was broadcasted on the radio. Since there were no witnesses, the police had trouble investigating. At that moment, the radio suddenly went off the air, and the taxi driver was too sleepy, so he pulled over to the side of the road to take a nap. At 3:30 a.m., a woman in white suddenly pulled open the car door, which caused the driver to wake up instantly. She said she wanted to go to the Miss Hin Hotel, but there is no such place in the navigation. I had no choice but to follow the woman's instructions. The woman did not say a word on the way. The radio in the car still did not start. The woman asked to turn right at the intersection ahead, but the driver found that there is no right turn in front of the road. Then the driver felt as if something was approaching him, suddenly turned around and realized that no one was in the back seat. And the next second, the woman in white just appeared in front of the car. The driver saw the situation and hastily stopped the car, but the navigation at this time reminded him that he had reached his destination. The driver looked back cautiously. The woman had also returned to the car, but until the other hand removed, we realized that the woman was actually gouged out of her eyes. The driver tried to escape, but his body would not listen to him. The woman took the eyeball to the driver's front. There is a voice in the ear asking what this is, as if these 2 eyeballs can still see things. After a few moments, the car restarted. The radio also returned to normal. The driver was gouged out of both eyes, and the 2 eyeballs were also left in place. This is the end of the second story. According to the beginning of the radio broadcast content alert, I personally speculate that the driver should have been a witness to the incident, but he did not come forward to testify. That's why the ghosts of the dead. Episode 3. Tenant. Steamer Saren has just moved into a new house, but the teddy bear behind her suddenly fell down on its own during the live stream that night. At first, she didn't pay much attention to it, but the books on the shelf fell down again soon after. Some in the audience felt it was a prank, while others suggested that he should go to an exorcist. Realizing the weirdness of the house, Steamer was also scared and cried out. She planned to turn off the live stream and spend the night at her girlfriend's house. However, just after she clicked off, her face immediately showed a smile of satisfaction. So everything just now is really just a trick. But at this time she did not realize live stream screen actually did not stop. Then her best friend called to congratulate her on the success of the show and decided to go out later to celebrate. Before she left, Steamer wanted to take a selfie to capture the moment. The moment she turned on the camera, the special effects identified a second face in the room, and the number grew rapidly. filling the entire screen soon after. It was only at this moment that Steamer realized that there was something really wrong with the room. She cautiously turned around to check, but her body suddenly became uncontrollable and she slammed her head into the table. Blood also instantly stained the entire face. At this point, everything changed and she found that another person was grabbing her head and slamming it into the keyboard. Gaussian blur, slam 0455. So 1 or 2 times until Steamer completely unresponsive. Then the other one she replaced the live stream camera and greeted the audience with kindness. This is the end of the 3rd short story. Episode 4. Curiosity. 2 girls are watching a paranormal video. There is a huge monster standing in front of the building. Min felt that it could be real, but her classmate is sure that it must be a special effect. Then they went to the classroom to get their books, but just before they reached the corner of the stairs, the student sprained her ankle. Min saw the situation and had to go alone. However, just after she left, the classmate showed a bad smile on her face. It turns out that she just pretended to break her ankle. The purpose was to scare Min with the strange doll in the locker, although she did get scared. But soon Min sensed something else was wrong. Suddenly there were strange noises behind her when she left the classroom. At that moment, a girl with a clear complexion appeared in the corridor for no apparent reason. She slowly got up with a strange posture. The bloodshot eyes also returned to their original state. She also grew a dorsal fin behind her. Min saw this and rushed to escape. But the strange thing is that no matter how she ran, she could not run this floor, as if she was spinning in place. And this is exactly where the student broke his foot just now, but the two could not see each other. At this time, the strange girl has also followed. The other side step by step closer eyes also split more pupils. Along with Min's scream, the picture also returned to the student's side again. The students found that Min did not hear anything, so they planned to go to check. And at that moment, the girl who was just creepy also climbed down from upstairs. This is the end of the 4th short story. In this story, Min saw the creepy woman is not a normal ghost. She should be in the same category as the monster in the opening video. As to why, you'll understand when you see it later. Episode 5. The Red Shoes. Jenny chose to commit suicide because she was bullied by her classmates. It is said that a passing truck crushed her entire lower body. In order to reduce the impact of the incident on the school, the teacher asked everyone to delete the group chat and not to say anything when asked by the police. The news of Jenny's death came as a surprise to Sho, because she was the one who led the bullying of Jenny. Before the end of the day, the teacher received a text message from Sho saying that she wanted to talk about Jenny and that she wanted to meet her in the classroom. When she arrived at the classroom, the power was off. In the dimness, she vaguely saw Sho covered in blood, but it wasn't until the other person raised his head that he realized this was not Sho at all, but Jenny, who was already dead. Jenny slowly got up, but her lower body was left on the seat. It turned out that her lower body had been crushed by the truck when she committed suicide, so she came back to take revenge and took Sho's lower body. But Jenny felt that these legs were not suitable for her, so she planned to replace the teacher's legs to see the effect. After the scream, the door of the classroom was pulled open, with a set of extremely uncoordinated movements of the body out of the inside. This is the end of the 5th short story. Careful friends may have noticed this is the same class as the 1st story and even earlier, because at this time, the girl in the 1st story, Ricky, has not yet died, and her class president and the 1st grade Chi is also still alive. So based on this, we can be sure that in the 1st episode, Ricky is preceded by Chi, the class president and top student. The back is the 5th episode of the bullying suicide Jenny, and this position is the seat of Sho, who led the bullying in episode 5. The first part of Gotham is over. I will upload the 2nd part next. The 3 stories in part 2 are also interconnected with the stories in part 1. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel in case you can't find me and miss Gotham part 2. See you next time.